أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Jazakallah khairan on tuning in on the last, or not, I shouldn't say the last, the third part of this Noor of Nourishing series. So let's begin. In the name of Allah, the cultivator, the benevolent. We all say we believe in the truth. We all say we know the truth. But do we study it? If we study the truth, then we must have studied Allah, because He is the end game of truth. Are we listening to what Allah is saying about Himself? So what does He say? Allahu Noor as-samawati wal ard. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. And at the end, Allah presents examples for the people, and Allah is knowing of all things. Do you see His examples? Our ability to see is based on light. Is there a pattern in the light spectrum? To be enlightened or illuminated has to do with light. Can light in nature lead us to the ultimate truth? Are we not here for the ultimate truth? Our perception of reality is based on light that enters our eyes, which is the light spectrum. What is the light spectrum? The visible light spectrum follows a specific order. From the white light we get red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. The dispersion of white light. From the white light, again, you can see here how it works. Natural law order of light spectrum. From the white light, again, we get red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and you can see in the background that light is being bent to portray the 7 colors. The manifestation of truth and light. Allah's Noor in plain sight. There is no change in the visible light spectrum. It will 100% of the time work the same way, in the same order, every single time. Again, in Surah Fitr, verse 53, at the end Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and in the mountains are streaks of varying shades of white and red and extremely black. So following again the order, white and red. Okay, now when you're speaking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His light, nobody can shy away from this surah, from this verse. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of daybreak. Why does Allah specifically say Lord of daybreak, and not Lord of the sun in general terms, or Lord of the stars, or moon, or fire? Why not Lord of Ishraq when the sun has risen at a height where darkness has been removed? Or why not the zenith when the sun is at the peak during the day? Why does Allah specifically say Lord of the daybreak and not Lord of the stars, moon, and fire? Why not Ishraq when the sun has risen completely, or is not the zenith? After studying the light spectrum and understanding its basic principle, Allah has programmed it to work one way, in which it follows the same order every time. It has never changed, nor will it ever change. Then it dawned on me that it's all about order. From the white light, we get red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So it's about the order. Lord of the Falak could be better understood as the Lord of the order of the first light in a day. Falak is the first light in the heavens when the day begins. As you can see here, Falak, daybreak, it's actually the first light. So in order of the day, so Falak will happen, then the sunrise, then zenith, then Asr, then sunset, and complete darkness. But Falak, it's the first. It's the order. Everything follows an order. At the top of the command chain is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the order, Lord of order. Everything begins with Him. All life on earth needs Allah's light, Allah's Noor, or Allah's nourishment. As you can see here, Allah's Noor, at the end of Allah's Noor is Allah's nourishment. Because from the white light, which comes from the sun in nature, we get the spectrum of light. From the spectrum of light, we get the 3 primary colors, which become the nourishment for plant life. Allah does not mention being the Lord of the zenith because He is the Lord of order. Daybreak comes before sunrise, before zenith. The first piercing of light into darkness is more important than the peak of light. The sun is the greater light out of the star, moon, and fire. Therefore, the sun, in order, is the greater light, and it is the first light during the day. The sun makes things clear. The moon is like a lamp at night. Stars can be connected to help navigate. Fire, the closest in proximity of the four, can be used as guidance when it is dark. All four have a common pattern. They can be used as guidance. Fire can be understood better with the story of Musa when he first met Allah. Has the story of Musa reached you? When he saw a fire, he said to his family, Stay, I have noticed a fire. Perhaps I can bring you a torch therefrom, or find some guidance by the fire. Then he reached it, and he was called, Ya Musa. Guidance by the fire. And Surah Al-Qasas, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, when Musa had completed the term and departed with his family, he noticed a fire by the side of the mount. He said to his family, Stay here, I have glimpsed a fire. Perhaps I can bring you some information from there, or an ember from the fire, that you may warm yourself. Then he reached it, and he was called from the right side of the valley, at a blessed spot from the bush. O Musa, it is I, Allah, the Lord of the worlds. So what is the significance about this? Allah uses a fire to speak through or by. Such a deep and profound meaning. When it seems like darkness or evil has taken over, Allah is even closer to the believer through the example of a fire. Fire is the closest in proximity out of the four lights of guidance and benefits of nature. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that Musa was going to go against the greatest darkness upon mankind at that time, which was Fir'aun. And we know that Allah is Noor as-samawati wal ard. So when he goes against this great darkness, Allah speaks to Musa in the closest of the lights, which was fire. Okay, in Surah Taha, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, so in verse 19 he says, throw it, O Musa. He's talking about his staff. So he threw it, and thereupon it became a moving serpent. He said, Take hold of it, and do not fear. We will restore it to its original condition. And press your hand to your side. It will come out white, without a blemish. Another sign, that we may show you some of our greatest signs. Go to Pharaoh, he has transgressed. So we know why Musa's hand turned white, because it's the source color of light. Musa alayhi salam was showing everyone present at that time who he was representing. So again, remember, from the white light we get red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Musa's hand turning white was showing people who he was working for, who he was serving. The visible light spectrum follows a specific order. From white light we get red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So this is the blueprint of the light spectrum. Divine order, the light, Allah's light is white, and then as it comes down, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Red connected to our blood, green connected to the middle path, blue maybe it represents the jinn. Again, just making it concrete that white is the first in order, and white gives us the color. So is the white light a part of the greater signs? Is white light the greater sign? When Allah said to Musa, put your hand to your wing or side, what did that look like? Is there a deeper meaning? Surah Taha, verse 22. I did this, put that wrong here. And press your hand to your side, it will come out white without blemish. Another sign. When Allah asked Musa to put his hand on his wing or his side, what did it look like? Yeah, these guys. Why are they doing this? Because Musa did it. But what does it mean? It must have something to do with light. I only understood this after studying and contemplating the subject of light, specifically Allah's Noor. Wouldn't the greatest sign for Allah be about Allah? What other sign would be greater than Allah? A sign of Allah is the ultimate truth. So basically, I'm trying to say is, if there was a sign out there, what would it be about? Wouldn't it be about Allah? Because He is the truth. He is what we're all seeking. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, by which Allah guides those who pursue His pleasure to the way of peace and brings them out of darkness into the light by His permission and guides them to a straight path. Musa's hand on his wing represents the darkness, and when he brings his hand out, it turns white, representing light. Therefore, out of darkness into the light. That is the lesson to be learned in that surah, or with that sign, I should say. And this is how it works. Allah's light in Surah Noor, verse 35, Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. This is how it works. Allah's Noor is the nourishment. Noor is nourishment. Everything is based off of light. All of the rain, guidance, nourishment, it all is about Allah's light. It's all about out of darkness into the light. That is the sign of Musa's hand. Him putting it on his side, taking it out, is darkness into the light. Now, this you have to really contemplate. I know, I'm sounding like I know a great deal. It's because I studied it, and I know, and I haven't actually even put all of my research into it, or else this would have been too long and it would have been confusing. I hope, inshallah, that I've done, at least a preliminary research on light, because it's the sign. If Allah is the Noor as-samawati wal ard, it's going to be a part of His greater signs. And Musa's story, it's all about that. All about that. Allah first talking to Musa by the fire. Why is it a fire? Because it's closest in proximity out of the four lights of nature. His hand turning white is a part of the greater signs, because it's darkness into the light. Subhanallah. I hope this does truly help you when you go out in nature, and you go out and you take your families, or you teach your children this. Even if you're single, when you go out when it's daytime, when the light is out, the falak. The nourishment that comes from the light. The seven spectrums. From the seven spectrums where that seven comes from. It comes from the white light. And then when you sit and you contemplate about Musa's story, this is what it represents. Darkness into the light. And so I just want to, thank Allah. Jazakallah, shukran ya Rab for letting me see this. Your light is truly enlightening. And so I didn't want to put any lies into it, because that'll be probably a different presentation. But subhanallah, Allah truly is the light of the heavens and the earth. Jazakallah khairan for tuning. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.